Okay, so this happened back in 2002. Okay, in 2002, I was just finishing my university, my last year, um, and I caught an infection called tuberculosis. At the time, I didn't know it was TB, and I had the symptoms of cold, feverish, and fluish, and cough. I had this going on 2 weeks. It wasn't better, so I went doctor, and he said to me, "Go and get an X-ray." So at the time, I had two young sons, and also I was running a business as well as studying full time. So I was very busy. So I kind of put the X-ray to the back of my list of priorities. I just said I'm going to soldier it and I'm going to be all right. Ginger, lemon, and all that stuff. Well, it got to a point after about 2 months. I'd gone to the doctors, got the X-ray form, but I still didn't go. About 2 months, and then I got really bad. Like one day I woke up and my bed was covered in sweat, so much sweat, just damp, and I was really my temperature, my cough. So I said, you know what? Let me go and get this X-ray done. So I went to Neom General Hospital and I saw. I had my X-ray, and they said to me, "Go back to your GP in 7 days and get the results." And I jumped in a cab to go back home. By the time I got home, my other half was saying to me, "What's going on at the hospital? They've rang like a million times asking for you if you've got back yet." And they said, "When you get back, to tell you to come straight back to the hospital." So I said, "I don't know. They just told me to go back to the GP, but now let me just go back to the hospital." So when I went back, the doctor said to me, "Your chest is really bad, and we don't have time to book surgery because of how bad your chest is. And we need to do an operation on you now, right here, right now, in the ward." Which was a bit of a shock to me because I know I was sick, but not that sick. So I was in the ward, and that ward had like nine other patients, and he just drew the curtain around the bed and said he'll be back shortly. So after like 15 minutes, he came back with a machine. He pushed a machine. This machine had an arrow, metal arrow, like a giant metal arrow, and at the end of the arrow was a tube, plastic tube that connected into a bucket. And this was also connected to the machine that he brought. So he said to me, "I'm going to give you a local anesthetic, and then I'm going to do the operation to bleed the infected liquid in your lungs." So he said to me he has some unqualified doctors who would like to see the operation if I minded. I said, "No, everyone has to learn." So there was like 5 unqualified doctors and 1 qualified doctor. And his name was Dr. Watson. Yeah. Big up yourself, Dr. Watson, for saving my life, as well as God using you to save my life. Big up yourself. Anywhere you are in the world, big up yourself, Dr. Watson from Newham General. So, anyway, he's injected me locally on my back, near my ribs, in between ribs. He's injected me and it's numbed, and then he's taken the arrow and shot it into my lungs. Literally shot it, because it's attached to like a gun clip, like a trigger, and he just shot it. And it just went through my back into my lungs, and it started bleeding. And I started hyperventilating. So as the infected fluid was gushing out of my lungs, I was trying to breathe in as much as I could, and I couldn't breathe in for the life of me. I couldn't put air, because obviously the hole that was in my lungs was, the water and air was escaping. But to my understanding, they were supposed to attach something called a clip to the tube, like something that looks like a scissors. They take it and clamp the tube so that I can breathe easy. But I was hearing, "Where's the clamp? Where's the clamp? Where's the clamp?" And then at the same time, I was sitting on the bed looking at all of them, local anesthetic, and I was awake. So when I heard, "Where's the clamp? Where's the clamp?" And I blacked out. And when I blacked out, the hospital disappeared. And I woke up in darkness. I found myself in darkness. The darkness that I felt I have, it's not even in this world. The darkness was living, moving form. I don't really know how to describe it. It was darker than my top. Dark. Like a million times dark. And it was moving. It was like I was in maybe a stadium full of people, and nobody was talking, you couldn't see no one, you couldn't hear no one, you couldn't touch no one, but you knew there were people there, or souls, because I'd left my body and I was in this place, And the first thing I saw was a giant V-shaped light. It felt like I was low, deep down somewhere. Like, what came to me was like the bottomless abyss. Yeah, it felt like that. Like we was down. And then this giant light, like it was so massive, like the shape of, a tornado. I tried to put it in drawing. Like, I'm not a great drawer, but a tornado, right? The top of a tornado is a full circle, right? Imagine the shape of a tornado, just the giant shape of light, right? That shape, but it's light in that darkness. Something like this. Make sure you can see. Something like this. Right? And I was in the darkness at the bottom of that V shape, looking up. And I was saying to myself, but this light is so bright. How comes it's not shining everywhere so I can see what's here? And then I said, I wanted to see what was here. And the thing is, at the top of that giant light was the biggest, largest color flat screen plasma TV you have ever seen. Plasma, where it's got my life's movie, for real, your life gets played on the biggest gigantic plasma TV in color, full color. Your life gets played on there, right? So I'm at the bottom of this and I'm wondering, why is the light not shining everywhere so I can see? And then I realized when I asked a question, I answered the question. Like when I said, I wish that the light could come on so that I can see what was here in this darkness, right? My own voice said, if the light was to come on and you see what's here, it will shock your soul into a million more deaths. That's how terrible it is. So I said, oh my God. And this is where I am. And then when I looked here, I saw myself at the age of 4 or 3 in color. I was born in Nigeria and I saw myself on the screen in the village playing in full color. And then it will be on the screen for like a few seconds, and then it will gently glide down and disappear, right? And then another one. When I first came to England, and then I said, but I was a Newham General in an operation. Why am I seeing myself on this big screen in color? And then my own voice said to me, because your life flashes in front of you as you're about to die, right? And then I felt like I was the newcomer. Like I was the new, everybody came to look and see who was beamed down into the darkness. Yeah? And the funny thing was when the last picture, because he showed me up until I was like going to the hospital, and the last one just went and disappeared, and this just went vroom and shut. And when it closed, that was when the real darkness came. The darkness was, I don't have words for the thickness of the darkness. I don't have words. It was alive. It was alive. A sea of souls was what came to me. A sea of souls. Right? And then when that closed, I said, so am I dead? I can't be dead. So then I said, is this where I'm going to be forever? In this darkness? And then a song came to me. A song I used to like. I'm Sorry Miss Jackson by Andre, a guy called Andre. If you know I'm Sorry Miss Jackson. And in that song it says, forever, ever, ever, forever, ever. That was what came to me. Then I said, am I here forever? And I'm like, what about my sons? I started questioning, like, if this is it for me. I'm like, what about my son? I've got sons. I've got 2 sons that need me. You know? When I realized that wasn't heaven, right? And I wasn't in the hospital anymore, I started begging. You know what begging is? You don't know what begging is. I know what begging is. I begged God from east to west, north to south. I gave God reasons why He should save me, give me a second chance. I've got my sons to raise. I promised to serve him with my life. I begged. Yeah. And then, you know, an image flashed in my head. I wouldn't say head because I wasn't physical. My soul then. And I saw Nunu. This Nunu is a Hoover in Teletubbies, a program my sons used to watch. I used to watch with them. And Nunu just used to go around the place. You know? Nunu, the blue Hoover. That's what I saw. And then I saw the hose of the Hoover. You know the black hose where you Hoover, where you used to pick up. I felt that plug in my mouth, like just plug in. And then air just started rushing. Air, like air. It reminded me of fireman hose, but with air instead of water. Yeah. That just kept coming. And I was like, well, where's that air coming from? And then my own voice said, this is what's meant by God breathed the breath of life into man at creation. And then I had an image of a mold of a man from dust. Like it was molded and it was just clay. And it was just clay. But it became man when God breathed the breath of life into it. Right? And that's what was happening. God was giving me back my life. And this air was just going, non-stop. And then I found myself back in the hospital, like. And when I came back, they were still saying, where's the clamp? I witnessed them find the clamp and clamp the scissors thing to the tube, and then I could breathe easy, yeah? I saw them. And then I was like, but when I was conking out, when I was blacking out, they were saying, where's the clamp? How comes I was gone for so long, saw so many things, experienced so many things, and then when I came back round, praises be to the Almighty for sparing my life, for giving me a second chance. When I came back round, they were still saying, where's the clamp? How is that possible? Then my own voice said, because a day in man's time is a year in God's time. And he was in God's time. Time was slow. So our time on earth is lived in a hurry, in a fast pace. So when I came back around and I see them clamp the tube, I hear Dr. Watson said to me, oh, sorry man, sorry, we lost you for a minute. I'm sorry, we lost you for a minute. I know you'll be in a lot of pain, yeah, but if you need any painkillers, just press this button and somebody will give you a morphine because you're going to be in a lot of pain. I said, you lost me for a minute? I said, you killed me. I said, I died. And he's just looking at me, speechless. And then I said, where's the button? And he said, over here. And I just pressed the button. I want morphine, yeah? What the hell? I died. And they just gave me morphine and I went to sleep, yeah? So I was in that hospital for 2 weeks, bleeding out my lungs of the of the infected liquid. And when I left, I had to take 12 tablets every day for 1 year to heal my lungs. right? And I couldn't miss one tablet. Otherwise, I would have to start the whole course again. So for 1 year, I had 12 tablets every day to heal my lungs. So during that year, I was questioning my life, like, if God didn't give me back my life, would I have said I lived my life to the full? And then I said, no, I need to live. So I began living. At the time, this is 18 years ago, what we so-called humans call living, flesh call living, right? I sold my house, I took my kids, and I traveled. I partied, cars, I had the best, two of them park up. You understand? And you know when you have it all but something missing? Like I had everything I could want, but something was missing, right? So one day I was in a club with my friends, and I was boogieing down, right? And I heard a voice say to me, "Don't forget the promise you made to me." And I was like, "Promise?" And then I turned to my friend and I said, "What did you say?" And she said, "I didn't say anything." I said, "Yeah, you did. You just spoke." And she said, "No." She said, "UK, you're drinking too much." I didn't say nothing. But as she's talking to me, I'm remembering myself lying down on morphine in Newham General Hospital. And I remember I made a promise to God to serve Him with my life. And it's been 2 years since recovery, and I'm just doing what I like. You know, during my travels, one day I heard God said to me, "When you finish having a whirlwind romance with life, you let me know." Trust me. But I just kind of said to myself, "Oh, you're just thinking God is talking to you, but that's not God." But then later on, when I heard Him with the promise, "Don't forget the promise He made to me in the club," I said, "Whoa, you can't promise God nothing and think you're not going to fulfill it. Don't make promises to God if you don't aim to fulfill them." You know? So I said to my friend, "Let's go. I'm done with the club, yeah?" So on the way home, I rang my nephew, and my nephew is a pastor. He has a church. So I said to him, "Olu, I have to get baptized." And he said, "All right, just call me back in a couple of hours and I'll pencil you in. You tell me when." And I said, "No, can you wake up? Because I need to get baptized like today, which is the Sunday morning, yeah?" And he said, "No worries, you can get baptized, but church is not till 12. You want to wait?" I said, "No, just please." I said, "I'm going home from a place and I'm going to have a wash, get changed, and come." Because he lived quite far from me, like a couple of hours drive. So they said, "Okay." So I told my son that, I'm going to get baptized. At that time, my son was like 16, and he said to me, "Mom, I'm going to get baptized too, my first son." Big up yourself, Chidi. God bless. Big up yourself, Kelechi. God bless. Those are my two angels, my left and my right hand. Well, anyway, my son said to me, "Mom, I'm going to get baptized with you." And I said to him, "What do you think I'm doing? Going for a swim?" And he said, "No, Mom. I just want to serve God with my life." My mouth went, and then that same voice said to me in my head, out of the mouth of babes and sucklings cometh the truth. Right? So I said to him, that's great, son. Come with me. You and me will get baptized at the same time. So we went down and my nephew baptized both of us at the same time. Praises to the Most High. You know? I had to do that to show God that I wasn't playing with him. Right? And somewhere, somehow, I will fulfill my promise to him. And I remember. Okay? So that's my story of going to hell and being fortunate enough for God to have mercy on me, to give me a second chance. And you know, this is the reason really why I started my channel, Life and Vibes TV, because I have other experiences that I want to share, and God said to me, I show you these things because you was in doubt. I show you these things so that you can bear witness and know that I am. I don't claim to be anyone special. Sometimes I ask God, why me? Some dreams, but I don't ask. Like, I should say, why not me? I'm not perfect by far. But you know, I love God and I love people. And my greatest wish would be to have as much resources as possible to help the less fortunate. Whether it be money, house, to help the people that are impoverished in this life. Because that's what Jesus did. Jesus showed love to all, but he cared for the poor, the meek, and the humble. You know? And this is a world, capitalist world, with no love. And it's getting to the point where bad is now good. And if you speak God, that's bad. So, I'm going to share my experiences that the Most High has put inside me. And I hope that someone takes this experience and learns from it. And when I had my experience of hell, I also had experience of heaven. I woke up my two sons from deep sleep and I said to them, listen to me, wake up and listen, sit up and listen, right? Don't ever let no man tell you that there's no God. Don't ever let no one tell you there's no heaven or hell. And know that what you do here in this little 100 years, 110 years of your life determines where you end up. And it's simple, right? God is love. God is love, yeah? And no amount of money you got can get you through heaven's gate. None. That's why I say, if you had all the money in the world in one place and offered it to me and said, don't worry about heaven or God, just live here and no. I'd rather be poor and humble and loving and reach where I want to reach where I've been, reach where I've seen, than have all the riches in this world. If you've seen where I've seen, if you've been where I've been, you will do the same. So God said, I show you these things, yeah, because you was in doubt. And I want you to bear witness that I am. Yeah. So I'm bearing witness that the Most High is real. I'm bearing witness that the Creator of heavens and earth is real. I'm bearing witness that God loves me and I love God. You know, if you're ashamed of God, when you die, God will be ashamed of you. Yeah? Know that. If you're ashamed of God, when you die, God will be ashamed of you. So, you better align yourself with the Most High who created you and humble yourself and show love to your fellow humans, because none of us will escape judgment. None of us will escape his judgment. And I'd rather store my riches up in heaven than on earth, because I've seen heaven and I've seen what it is. I don't want nothing on this earth that would deter me from going to heaven. Yeah, so keep in tune. My next video, I will tell you about heaven. God bless. Take care. Live from Vibes TV, Lady UK.